Okay, so hello everyone, and we are here to bring you some very interesting breaking news today. There's kind of a really big what the heck scenario regarding the Chima Constraction sets for 2014. And I am joined today with
Eljay.
Kahi.
and
Viper.
me, Meso, of course. And this is kind of a follow-up to something which I mentioned in the last TTV episode. Not the last one, like 2 episodes ago. And I threw it out there, hey, there's big controversy because the Chima Constraction sets for 2014 were not actually on display at the New York Toy Fair, and people were like, why is this? But I'll be honest, it wasn't really as controversial as I made it out to be. I was just kind of playing it up for news
Over
because
domesticating
it was a
Meso.
slow news day. I really didn't think anything was going to come out of it. I just thought they forgot to put him at the Toy Fair. It wasn't going to be a big deal. And then apparently today, BZP posts a news article with really weird news. Chima Constraction sets scrapped for 2014.
It was us, guys. We murdered the contraction.
Yeah,
Set.
They heard our commentary and they're like, we can't do this
after
anymore.
ripping them to shreds on Nuremberg, we've crushed their morale. They are not releasing them. And only half of that is a joke because they're apparently really not releasing them. It says, after Toy Fair this year, many people asked why we didn't have any pictures of the Chima Constraction sets, or Ultra Builds as some call them. The answer was that they were not on display in New York, despite having been shown at Nuremberg earlier in the year. So I began a quest to get an official answer as to why that was. While this info is not final and may change, it would appear that this year's Constraction sets are not going to be released in order for LEGO to focus on its other themes. Do not expect to see them on store shelves in North America or any region. If and when I receive any updates to this, I'll be sure to let you all know. And this is by Black 6.
Oh,
They were
boy.
thrown into the eternal vortex of doom.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I cannot recall. I know Eljay kind of mentioned this post pre-recording. I cannot recall an instance where LEGO announced a line, or rather sets for a specific line, not necessarily a theme, because I know stuff gets scrapped in prototype stages, but actually had sets finished and on display with artwork finalized and all that fun stuff, and then not released them, canceled them in the developmental stage. Especially for a big theme like Chima. I don't really understand what the heck's going on here.
Do you know what would be my guess as someone who does stuff with business from time to time? Here's what I would assume. Now, Lego has already, whatever they have, this whole concentrating in other lines is kind of boring. Because they already have the designs out. They already have basically they have the sets out. They have marketing done. They have images done. There's no, they can focus on other sets. It's like, they basically made it already. It's like having a video on our channel that we're just hidden.
Yeah.
It's not like saying, oh, we're not going to release this video so we can focus on other projects. No, the project's done. We're just choosing not to release it. Now, why wouldn't they want to release it? Well, as Torbo, as kind of down as this sounds, my most accurate guess would be that they got back the results of how construction sets are doing in the year 2013, and they had construction sets for Hero Factory, construction sets for
the prior wave of Chima.
Chima, and they can't have been that good. Which is
Oh.
what we've been saying this for a while. If you want even just a slight sliver of notion of BIONICLE or another construction line that focuses on the story, kind of like BIONICLE, you needed to keep the construction market alive. And from what it looks like, construction market has done anything but well.
It's saturated.
I don't. That does not
we've seen the
surprise me
transition.
because after how stupid Brain Attack was, I knew that was probably not.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a transition from like Hero Factory. They're no longer exclusive construction action figures, now more kind of mech oriented, construction builds.
Oh.
And this new thing with Chima kind of leads me to believe that no, there is no more market for construction action figures. Construction action figures is kind of construction sets as we've been led to believe for the past couple of years.
Well,
So that's why they did that with Invasion from Below. Invasion from Below. They instead of using actual construction sets for the heroes, they used minifigs.
yeah. Well,
Right.
I really hope that's not the case, because that would be
I hope
that
it
would
isn't
be
either.
good in the long
I
run,
hope
and it kind of means what does that mean for the line in 2015? Was that always planned to have minifigures? Will it be
Hashtag no
scrapped?
Bionicle 2000.
Yeah,
I
hashtag
have Alice.
hashtag Bionicle's dead 2015, dead before it begins.
No.
Wow. Eljay, I know you really didn't care about these sets from the beginning. You were always like meh about them, but do you have any comments to say about this development?
It's just kind of unusual because Kahi does bring up an excellent point. They were done. And like the packaging was done. The sets were done. They were displayed at Nuremberg. And considering that's Nuremberg, what was it? Nuremberg's in Germany, is
Yep.
it not? Okay. Lego's always seen Germany as a huge market. So I cannot imagine why they would not release them, at least in Europe at this point in time. So I think Black Six is just... He's throwing his opinion out there. And he still has yet to hear back from Lego, or he hasn't yet. So I'm going to wait, hold judgment, see what happens if Black Six gets any more information. But if not, it's a shame, because a lot of those, there were a lot of really great looking parts that we were going to
Yeah,
get.
Surfing on is.
yeah. Like, first of all, I do believe Black Six has heard back from Lego. However, he does make a point of saying it's not final info. Things could always change, so
Right. They might.
we'll see what happens. And then
I
the
feel
second
like-
part
well, I
is,
mean-
yes, you make a good point, LJ. There's tons of new pieces here. It's not like it's a line where they skimped out on the budget and, whatnot. There's an absolute ton of new parts, like those torsos, the heads for all of them. There's new weapons, wings, armor. And to just scrap all that and say, we're not going to release them because Brain Attack did so badly. I don't know. It's very odd.
Well, I mean, it's not just Brain Attack did badly. What they kind of came up to is that the production cost of producing all these sets is not going to be profitable, basically. That's after they've done all the designs, all the molding. They've created new molds. They created, they've used the marketing department to create packaging, all that stuff. From then on, that really does say something when they're willing to pull that finished product off the market before it even hits the market. That really speaks kind of dire for the previous, or the future of construction sets in the future. If it's bad,
it's certainly not a good sign. It also could not necessarily be HF's fault, even though I would bank on it being so, because Brain Attack was a pretty mediocre year. But Chima, we've always said, it may be doing good, but it hasn't done nearly as well as they'd expected. Maybe the Constraction division just didn't do good enough last year, so they're cutting the theme's budget and not releasing one thing because they're cutting back on the speed ores too.
Yeah. I feel like the future of Constraction is, I don't know how bright that's looking.
It's pretty bad news today.
Right now. Especially since Lego's best-selling original line has been Ninjago.
Yeah.
Which is a more traditional Lego line in terms of construction and marketing and all that stuff. I feel like I don't know if because I mean Chima do you have any statistics of how Chima has done as compared to Ninjago?
I do not have actual statistics. However, we have gotten reports from Lego employees at conventions, according to BZP staff, that have said it's doing well. It has surpassed. It's met their expectations, but it has not done better than Ninjago.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ninjago was it did better than they thought it would, and they
ran with it, and then they ended it because they're stupid, and then they brought it back.
I mean, the difference between Ninjago and Chima isn't just that Chima has construction sets, right? There's a lot of factors that go into it.
Factors.
So Chima, I would primarily call it what do you call it? Like a normal brick-based line.
Yes.
What's the correct term again?
System.
System, yeah. It's a normal system line. So maybe it's just Chima, the line as a whole. Maybe the line's not being as successful.
I think
Maybe
a
the
lot of it
TV
has to
show.
do, as much as I hate to admit it, because I never liked either of these particular functions, but spinners versus speedors. I think that's another big thing. Because the whole spinner aspect, the game that kids bought into, I know that sold very well because it was competitive. It was like trading cards. It was collect them all minifigures to fight against your friends. With the speedors, it's not like that at all. You buy a set and there's obstacles that you have to get a motorcycle
Yeah.
through and get them through a ring of fire or past this
That's
rock,
true.
and it's more expensive. First of all,
Well,
there's
alright.
motorcycles. Second,
I'm not gonna lie though. I feel like I have a little brother and he has a bunch of friends who also buy all these kinds of things. Whenever I see them, they're not playing with the spinner or the speeder sets. They're playing with the actual sets and the actual ninjas and doing that kind of thing. So I mean, it might be true other points else. It's just in my personal experience, I don't see kids really gravitating towards the whole speeder or spinner concept.
That's how I
But,
would
you know,
hope it would go, because stuff like that, I do think it adds to the theme's playability factor, but it also detracts from stuff. And
Yeah.
I think they just spread their. My hope is that they just spread their budget a little too thin with Chima having all this stuff, all these different facets to it: Constraction, speedors, a system, a TV show, an online MMO, and they're just needing to rein it in and cutting off divisions. That's what I hope.
I
And
feel
that
like
it doesn't.
the Chima MMO has not done as well as they were hoping it would. I've heard little to no fanfare about it.
Yeah.
But today, all I have.
This could be.
Oh, wait, what, Viper?
I know people have said, about Chima lasting for like 4 more years, but it seems like they're slowly cutting out like additional parts because it's not getting any profit back. So
it was only planned to run through 2015, but our Lego designer says there's a possibility it could extend farther, but I doubt it will.
Yeah, it seems to be decreasing its life.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
today
not really that good.
Today we will end this video with hope that this does not mean bad news for Constraction in the long run, and we will lament the loss of such things as Sir Fangar's cape, the Zamor chests, the return of the Zamor launchers, and other assorted things.
Bring back Zamor spheres.
Yep, the spheres now, Lego. Now.
The spheres now.
But that is really all we have to talk about anymore. It would just be crazy speculation. However, we will continue to update all of you if the situation changes. And yeah, we hope it will, because this could be bad in the long run. But
could be.
I thank you all for watching.
Who knows? Please
continue to follow this topic and our channel, because we have more exciting videos in the pipeline. I'm Meso.
I'm Eljay.
I'm Kahi.
I'm Viper.
And this has been a Chima 2014 update. Goodbye.